Hello everyone, welcome back to the Coconerds podcast, and we are back after a long break. Everyone was going through their personal stuff during that period, so we couldn't do our regular podcast. So after the end of 2021, we are back with a podcast with all the. It's like a rewind 2021 where we talk about all the movies and superheroes TV shows that we have seen in the year 2021, and we will talk about it, what we loved about it, and we will share our thoughts with you guys. And with me to share their thoughts are two of my co-hosts and my best friends, Himanshu and Tarun. Topic, or the main heading of the why we are doing this podcast and why it took so long. So basically it took so long because the workload which we all have been going through was quite too much. And basically with Himanshu, he joined, or let Himanshu tell him what his scene was. Himanshu, go for it.
Let's not talk about. Let's
No,
not
no, no.
talk about.
Let's give
Let's
them
just.
you do the podcast and you have to answer them, right? Wherever you all these 6 months, even though we don't have that much listener. But for the two or three listeners, they deserve to know the answer. So
Yeah, so I was
Himanshu
in
was
the army
behind
for a
bars.
few months, and I was just injured, and I just had to come back. So it's
so
so I'm back.
so
Shady's back. Nothing
so
else.
he was in army, and so because of, and Tarun was as usual going through his job stuff, I guess.
Jail.
And
Tarun was in jail because he got a case
but
filed
okay,
against
okay,
him
okay,
because
okay, okay, let's not extend that joke. And uh, same was with me.
And
And yeah, I guess that was all the stuff. And we, I think you will see us a lot more, maybe not in form of podcast, but more in form of short videos and snippets. Also here and also on our Insta page, which will make sure to keep it more active this time year. Or that's our kind of resolution. Let's see if it works or not. So first we let's go through the movies and all the movies that you know that we have watched around the year 2021. So the first movie that the first right about the first movie, the first question that I'm going to put through here was, what was one of your movie that you didn't expected it to be that good, but you were quite, it was apart from your expectations, a movie that was apart from your expectations in the year 2021. Because we all know,
Venom 2.
our you know uh, favorite movies, right? If I say, tell me your favorite movie of 2021, we all know the answer what are the answer we are going to get. But let's move a little back, and I'm going to ask you guys, what about the movie that you didn't expected, you know to be, I know I have put you on a spot with this question. You didn't expect that it was too good, but it came out pretty good, or I guess average.
Himanshu, you
so
can
I
go
think
first, man.
yeah, I think for me it was Dune because I have read the first book and I've watched the movie also, the adaptation of the that was made in the
Yeah,
80s,
yeah, yeah.
late 80s, I think.
uh,
It was crap. That adaptation was crap just because the books are too dense to be formed into a movie.
yeah.
So it was this time when they were announcing that they had announced that Timothy Chalamet would be doing this movie. I did not expect it to be this good. And knowing that it'll just be a two-part movie, not like a three or four-part movie, which it should have been. So they have condensed it really well. They have edited a lot of good stuff, but still they have made a fair movie. And the second part would be doing the justice, I think. So I think Dune was one
Okay,
of the
okay.
movies
So
that surprised me.
in terms of Dune, my opinion will be like it. I expected it to be better because of the director, Dennis. Uh, I can't pronounce his last name. Sorry, right? Because of his backstory. Like, sorry, not the backstory, but the the project which he has done in past. It gives the movie a strong foundation which we can rely on, right? rather it be Blade Runner 2049, right? Or any other of its, oh, that movie, what was
The
his name?
Prisoners, The
Yeah,
Enemy.
yeah. And one movie which was about aliens, right? That time traveling thing,
I forgot its name.
right? So
Yeah, Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner wali, na?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
What is it called?
mm,
Arrival,
yeah,
Arrival.
yeah, Arrival,
Arrival,
Arrival.
Arrival. Yeah, right.
So looking at the portfolio of the director, I was pretty sure that it's gonna exceed my expectations. And in terms of watching it on a big screen, me and Tarun were totally amazed by how great it looked on big screen, and the way it was shot, from the way the actors played their roles. Okay, so it was on par. Like, if you ask me my favorite movie, then it will be Dune in 2021. And in terms of the question, getting back to the question of the movie that I least expected it to be good, but came out fairly good enough. Like, I think, as Tarun said, it will be, I think, mm, Venom 2, but like, just in that form, that it was funny. That's all. And it was short. Thank God it was short and it was funny, right? Because I couldn't be, because the whole, I think the writer's job, the whole writer's jobs, or the money on writing was all spent on jokes, and that's all. Because the writing was quite lazy. The story was quite lazy. I think, because it was too short, and and to cramp all that in a short movie, they made it pretty simple story, like good guy saves the girl, and I think that's all. Major impact, or the great things that we could have expected from Venom 2, which was great in Venom 1, right? Wasn't, I think, as seen in this Venom 2 part. So I was quite disappointed, but not as disappointed as I expected it to be. So that will be for me. And Tarun?
So the movie, starting off, first of all, these two movies I enjoyed. Me and Vijay watched these two movies in the big screen. Dune was a par expectations, and Venom 2 was obviously a disappointment. But I kind of enjoyed the most both the movies in a way. Dune, talking about little bit about Dune, it was on my list too, because I had no idea about any of its history, what this movie is about. I just knew the director. As you said, I have seen all of his movies, literally all of his movies. And Timothy Chalamet, I mean,
We are
me and
fanboy.
Vijay have been fanboying over him right now. So these two reasons were enough for me to go for this movie to watch this movie in the hall.
And
Now talking about
Zendaya
the
too.
movie which I did, Zendaya too, obviously. I mean, the cast is massive. There's Oscar Isaac, there's
Yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Momoa, there's Rebecca Ferguson. So the cast is just massive cast. I guess this movie had the most good actors put together in the one movie. Now talking about my movie, the movie I mean could be second or third in the list, but I'll talk about it. It's Shang-Chi. The reason being because I liked Shang-Chi a lot. I didn't think it got the appreciation it deserved. The reason it didn't got the appreciation because it was stumbled between Black Widow, which was a very hype movie at the time, and also Spider-Man Far From Home. So these two massive movies coming out, Shang-Chi didn't got the limelight, the appreciation it deserved. But I really think it's a good movie because it's a total different movie from a total different storyline what we see in the
But
big
like,
Marvel movies.
getting an
Yeah,
Asian.
yeah, giving an Asian concept and the way it's shot, they have not you know left any essence which you find in the movies of like
So
Jet Li or
yeah, so
Jackie Chan
major
movies.
hand-to-hand combat scenes were really
Yeah,
great, right?
hand to hand combat scenes were really great. And as I was talking, like the way movie is shot, the scenery they have used, the green screen, the views they have chosen, the slow motions, the effects, they all look amazingly good. And not I mean story might look a little bit a basic, little bit basic, like children who had a
But I think,
troubled childhood, so and his father issues, daddy issues, thing kind of thing. But overall, the movie, when you see it with that much detailing about bringing in the Asian culture, And Simuli, who is playing Shang-Chi, I think he did an amazing job. I
I,
didn't saw any of his movies earlier. He did small roles in series or something. I do know that, but I enjoyed that movie, a lot. Seriously.
yeah, like seeing him for the first time, I think he did a really pretty good job. And I think Marvel has a history of, going forward with superheroes with daddy issues, right?
Yeah.
Let it be Iron Man or seemingly or Thor, like they
Thor.
they all had that. And we you know we always come back to that. It's that magic potion they have, like, so
Yeah.
the formula which Marvel had cracked. They know what's gonna crack the viewer's heart, right? So they know that. And the villain, his dad, the actor is a legendary
Yeah.
actor in Asia, and
Hmm.
he did an exceptionally good job. I think he was one of the major keys to make a movie successful. The same way Thanos was in Endgame and Infinity War. I think the intimidation he bring to the table. The same was for him. I didn't remember the name,
Yeah.
but like that's for the great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to remember Asian names sometimes. But yeah, as I was saying, the one thing I like the most was obviously the hand-to-hand combat scenes. The
Yeah.
fighting
So
choreography is amazing in that movie.
yeah, and the most of the stunts are done by him alone. Okay, yeah, there
Yeah.
is a stunt double, but most of the stunts were done by him. And
Hmm.
the all the the fighting styles and throwbacks were to Jackie Chan and
Hmm.
Bruce Lee's movie. Even the stunt director or the stunt choreographer that worked on it was on the team who has worked
Used to
with,
work with them.
yeah, who has worked with Jackie Chan. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
so it
great,
was
man.
great knowing that. Yeah. So Anshu, so which of the movies did you like the most, or you enjoyed in 2021?
Well, I mean, it would be unfair if I don't mention the Snyder Cut. It's
Okay.
been too long that I have not mentioned it.
Yeah.
So, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which came out pretty early in the year,
Can
March
I say
first
one
week, I
thing? Can
think.
I say
No, you
one
cannot say
thing?
anything. No, you shut the fuck up. You cannot say anything.
Okay,
You
bro.
agreed. You started the topic in our WhatsApp group that you loved Snyder Cut, and
Yeah.
you had said in the morning today that you did not like it. You're changing your opinion
Hmm.
after
Yeah,
like 8 months just because
yeah, because
you
I've seen
hate
better
DC
cinema,
for
na.
no.
Hmm.
There is no better or worse cinema. Every movie should be judged on its own merit. There is no competition. You are not getting paid by DC or Marvel to love one and hate the other.
Yeah.
Love all. Spread love.
That's
It's
what I'm
So
reckoning. I
1969.
think you are getting paid by DC to promote them
I'm
or
not.
something.
I love Marvel. I fucking love Marvel movies. I
so I
love,
think,
and you know it very well. I screamed harder than anyone in the theater when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield
like,
came
Dude,
on
you
the
just gave on
screen
the
in.
spoilers. Some people have
Dude,
still
fuck
not
it.
watched the movie.
You both of you explained Shang-Chi to the entire audience.
hmm,
Abbi, just like
I'm
5 minutes ago in an
I'm
explicit detail.
I'm pretty sure if the
And if
if
someone does not, and if someone doesn't know by now that there are three Spider-Man in the last Spider-Man movie, then they are not fans of
and
Marvel
I
or
don't think so
Spider-Man.
they
They
will
are
be
living under
watching.
a fucking rock.
And I don't
Yeah.
think so they will be watching our podcast if they
And
don't
the
know
three
that.
viewers of her channel, apart from three of us, must have seen Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure about. So you don't have to talk about that. Coming back to the topic, coming back to the movie, Snyder Cut was phenomenal, and all the hype was worth it. The 4 years wait was worth it. Uh, I don't want to have any hopes that they'll restore the Snyderverse or anything. I don't even care about it anymore. Batman has been recasted. Ben Affleck is gone. Henry Cavill is gone. Gal Gadot is gone. Gone for good only. I hope she
Yeah.
doesn't come back to
So
Wonder Woman at
like
least for the next movie if
like
it's going to be as shitty as 1984. But if they come back, if they put back the ensemble, it'll be good. I'm not hopeful, but Snyder Cut was fantastic. Just
so
fantastic.
like have you read the news that they are gonna make the whole Snyderverse thing a non-canon, right? That this thing didn't happen. It was on an alternate thing
Yeah, yeah,
from the
yeah.
Flashpoint
They are
Flashpoint
saying
movie.
it.
Flashpoint movie. The
Did
rumors
Yeah,
it?
are
they are. Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. They're
rumors
saying
are
it that
there.
they're going to make it null and void and they're going to restart
Like
everything
it's like
without Zack Snyder, I think.
it's like DC is trying to say how can we fuck it up more? Like,
Exactly.
oh no, this is
Exactly.
not enough.
It's like
This is not enough.
yeah, it's like
Let's
I
do it
mean
more. Yeah.
the people in the board, they are behaving as if they are being paid by Marvel to fuck DC more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand what they are trying to do.
But like
Zack Snyder was the only good thing that has ever happened to DC Universe in the last 15 years. Whether it
Apart
be
from
Watchmen,
Ben Affleck.
whether it be Watchmen, whether it be the entire Man of Steel trilogy, he was the only good thing that has happened.
and like
And then he was the one who casted Ben Affleck. Otherwise, Ben Affleck was not a key to play Batman because as soon as Zack Snyder went away and Matt Reeves came into the picture, he left.
I
And
yeah
then they
I
just, I don't know what they're trying to do.
so I think
Go ahead.
in terms of like DC should realize this by now that there is a one really great solution to all this problem is listen to your fans, right? Listen to your
Exactly.
fan base. There's a reason why there are why there's so like so many forms are there on Reddits, right? There are so many fan pages like who die-heartedly follow DC, and their comics, and their history, and they have that much expectations from them, right? So, and in terms of that, like, for an example, I will give you Sonic Hedgehog, right? The Sonic movie. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah.
seen the movie or not.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen him.
So
Yeah.
like
They reshot the entire thing.
no, they reanimated, right? The VFX on the
Yeah.
Sonic was done entire, right? I don't know how much they have costed it, because the first trailer they released, the hedgehog looked really ugly. Like it doesn't look as, not even compared to how it looks in games. So, and by seeing the the negative response from the people, their fans, they redid it, even though it costed them. They redid it, and it was a huge
Yeah.
success. It was a really huge success, and it
You don't have to go very far. We're
yeah,
talking about the DC's direct competitor, Marvel. Marvel is doing the best fan service possible.
yeah, with spy,
Whatever we want, whatever we as Marvel fans want, they are putting it in the movie.
yeah,
They are fucking putting memes in the movie,
yeah,
meme references, whether it be I am something of a scientist myself or the three Spider-Men standing together pointing towards
and
each other. They are fucking putting memes in the movie. And DC is not even getting that.
callbacks, yeah,
Who the
callbacks.
fuck is running DC?
I don't know, bro. WB, I guess.
I
I
mean,
think.
see, it's there have been there. I'll give you three examples. Okay, just on the top of my head, three examples from TV series that have fucked it up by not hearing their fans. Okay, first is Game of Thrones. They were trying to do the exact opposite of what the fan theories were suggesting because they did not want it to be predictable. All
Yeah,
right. Second was How I Met Your Mother finale.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They fucked it up in the finals. Just last 5 minutes. If you just eliminate the last 5 minutes, the show was perfect. Okay. And there is the show called Lost. I don't know if you've seen Lost.
I
It
have
was
heard a
like,
lot about it, but like just
yeah,
because
it's an old show. It ended in 2012, 2013 line. I don't remember. I watched it in 2014, 2015. It's a good show, except for the last few episodes.
yeah,
They
so
also measured up in the final
that's
episode.
the main reason I'm not watching it, right? Because like
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't have to. I did not know it back then because back then we did not have all of these forums, Reddit, YouTube, and all this. I just watched it because it was a good show.
I have seen
I
it
just like the
reaction
theme of
videos.
it.
Yeah, I have seen the reaction videos
Yeah,
of
it's
people.
good. So DC should not do anything. They should not overthink this shit and they should just listen to their fans.
Yeah, I think.
Just go to the Comic Con in San Diego or some shit like that, wherever the fuck
And
there's no gun violence. Just go there and listen to the fans and make a like 5 or 6 movie thing just on basis of just on what the fans say, and you'll get the hang of it.
and it's not like that the actors aren't ready, or there's
Yeah,
setback from the actor side, right? Because Henry Cavill has always said that he's always down to play Superman, right? He can always pick up that
yeah,
mantle. He just need a phone call away, right? And like, if I'm coming back to Henry Cavill. So from where one of the great things I watched on 2021 in terms of TV shows was Witcher season
Witcher.
2, season 2. Like Henry
Amazing.
Cavill, what is exceptional, as a Witcher, because he's in a walking encyclopedia. He has been a
Yeah.
lover of the books as well as the game. I think he has told that he has finished the game around 3 times. So he is a total nerd, in terms of so so he himself said that don't fix something that isn't broken, right? He himself
Exactly.
said that, right? So
Yeah.
so I'm really happy that he is applying that formula in Witcher, where the directors also listen to him in terms of some of the nitty picky things which should be done or not, in terms of dialogues which he should say or not, right? Whether in terms of action, I think The Witcher was great, and in terms of story, the story material is very huge. They have I think content for at least 9 seasons. He himself said
Hmm.
that, and they are all just on season 2, and things they have just gotten started with the Wild Hunt. They
You are giving the spoiler, I think.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no. I
just
think
on the verge of giving the spoiler.
I think I'm not giving a spoiler, because this is literally the title of the third.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
season.
yeah,
So I think that's even the title of the third
yeah.
game,
That's what
The Witcher
I was
3,
going to
The
say.
Wild Hunt.
Yeah. That's
Sorry.
literally the title of game, right? What other TV shows, if we talk about, from if you move from, yeah, so what other TV shows that you have been watching recently and you loved in 2021? I won't consider Cobra Kai a 2021 rewind in 2021, because it just came on December,
31st of
yeah,
December.
31st
Yeah.
December, so I won't consider it in 20.
I finished it on 31st of December, so I'm gonna call it
Yeah,
2021
sure,
rewind.
you can add it on your list.
Yeah, it was just 10 episodes, 3-4 hours watch. It was a
Mm,
good show.
sure.
And obviously, we are waiting for the season 5 now. And one more thing, Andrew Garfield might be making a cameo in season 6. And
Why
this is
so?
not a he's the biggest fan of the show.
Yeah,
He has
he's a
publicly said, I want to be in the show. I'm a very big fan. And I think the makers are creating a role or a cameo, like something like that for him in season 6, because season 5 is already shot.
yeah,
4 and 5 were shot back to back.
yeah,
So 6 in the season 6 he will be there. So it's a little trivia for you. But season 4, fantastic, no doubts about it. It's getting more and more nostalgic. It's getting even better with every season, despite of what some people say that it's not up to the mark. What is up to the mark?
you know,
It's just
yeah,
fantastic. It's
like
perfect nostalgia, perfect feel good show.
you can't compare it to the season one of everything, right? It isn't as good as season one,
Yeah,
so you can't do that every time,
obviously.
right? So I think that isn't.
Our lives are not as good as season 1,
Hmm.
man. They're getting worse every year. So you can't
So in
compare
terms
it to
of
season 1.
The
in term
philosophical things we talk sometimes,
Thanks.
yeah,
Himanshu.
in terms of TV shows, what were one of your greatest, one of your favorite TV show that you watched in 2021, Tarun? I think.
So, as everybody know, I'm just a Marvel fanboy living inside a human body. So, I have watched all the Marvel series which came this year, and the one I liked the most was What If. I don't think I don't even need an explanation so about like why I love the show. I think it's pretty out there like why the show is good. I think the
Yeah.
Marvel go all the way beyond, what they could experiment things with, but they didn't risk it all in the, in the live action movie. They risk it all in the animated movie and sorry, animated series, but it just came out very well. I mean, the finales of that season, like part one and part two, I think they are just the brilliant. They even, in my opinion, I think they won up the end game. I really think because I
I,
love the finale of What If really better than the
yeah,
entire MCU phase one.
I also did love the What If. Like in the beginning, when we were seeing the episode, I think we thought that they were totally separated from each other's episode, right? And each What If
Hmm.
episode was, an individual episode of their own. But as soon as near the season finale, what they did was totally amazing. And you know, like
Completely, man.
like I, so, in my opinion, Ultron was one of the coolest or greatest villain it could be, right? Because I have seen the
Hmm.
original Avengers series, animated series,
Hmm.
and I have seen how
Hmm.
Yeah.
deadly and how much of a villain Ultron could be. right? But I never get to see that in, Avengers Age of Ultron, right?
True.
Maybe because it was a movie, and there's always limitations of on what or how much you can expand
The
that thing.
most badass scene, including Ultron, there are actually two, but the first one is when Thanos comes from the portal, Ultron comes behind and slices him in half.
Like,
That was
so,
one of the most badass scenes.
man, like, I think
And the second one, obviously, being Thanos breaking with the Watchers
multiverse.
multiverse and then breaking through it. That
Yeah,
was also nice.
man.
One more thing. Just out, Keanu Reeves is going to lead in a TV show, which is going to be produced by Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese.
Okay, so wow, okay, a TV
This
show,
is going to
a
be
TV show,
just out. Yeah, just out. Yeah, it's going to be
exclusive,
based in 1992.
exclusive, exclusive.
Exclusive
Exclusive.
on Coconerds. Yeah, this is going to be some good shit.
This is the
Let's
first time you're
just
gonna
wait
hear
for it.
about it.
Hmm. So,
Nice.
yeah, so in coming back to what if, right?
Hmm.
So like the fight scenes were quite amazing, and the Doctor Strange episode was one of the greatest episode, like in
No
This
doubt.
is
whether in terms of animation and whether in terms of storyline. I loved it,
storyline.
and I think seeing I don't think so that they took any feedback from it, but seeing the positive feedback they got from what if that Saw Doctor Strange episode, they will be pretty confident on showing, in the teaser trailer, uh, Supreme, sorry, I don't know,
Yeah.
an alternate version of Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah, he's not supreme version.
Yeah,
He's just in
yeah.
some
No, he's
alternate
not
version.
Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorcerer Supreme isn't, so this was
Sorcerer
pretty.
Supreme is Wong, no? Now
Yeah,
Wong is
now
the
he is.
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, because of the blip, so he was gone 5 years, so someone has to take the mantle, so that's why.
Yeah, and talking about Marvel shows, obviously all of them were fantastic. Whether with Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, all were good.
No,
My favorite, still, What If is going to be my favorite. WandaVision was good. It was not bad. It was good.
I'm not saying WandaVision. I think Loki. I don't think Loki was a good show. I
Loki was
mean, it
also
was a
good. I
good
liked it.
show, but
So
it
what makes
didn't
you
live up to the
think?
expectations.
Let me ask you, like what were the
Okay,
key
okay.
factors which made you think that the Loki wasn't a good show? Because I myself feel that way, but like I get conflicted among the thing
Yeah,
that
I
maybe I didn't
understand your
understood
question
it.
because we can't be specific about what we didn't like. It's just the feel, while we are watching the other shows and when we are watching Loki feels a little bit different. The reason I think is, uh, the one reason I think, obviously everything I say is opinionated, but one thing I said is they dragged Loki from the storyline of 2012. Most of the people have moved on from that. Okay, the another part is they kind of, spoiler alert, they kind of set up another major MCU villain, which is going to be the Conqueror.
Kong the
Who's
Conqueror,
huh,
Hmm.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang,
So I
sorry,
think it's pretty much
King Kong.
sorry.
Kang is not the Conqueror. That was Conan the Conqueror in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Not
Kang is
No, no,
different.
no,
yeah,
no.
he is
Kang the
also.
He's not the Conqueror. He's just Kang.
No, he is.
no. He is Kang the Conqueror. I mean, that's not he's called every time. It's
That was
just the
Conan the
title.
Destroyer then.
Yeah, that was Conan the Destroyer. I don't think I'm getting confused right here, but I'm trying to say they set up a
Kang the
uh,
Conqueror. Yeah, he is Kang the Conqueror. I just
who's the
rechecked. Yeah,
Kang the Conqueror.
because there are too many
Conan.
variants of it, right? So
Yeah,
the
he
Yeah.
has too many variants,
so the variant which
but
is the villain, he goes by the name of the Kang the Conqueror because
Hmm.
he
what I'm
wants to
trying to say here, conquer
yeah,
every
multiverse.
possible multiverse there is. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, they set up a pretty big MCU villain pretty too soon. I mean, there are a lot of movies which are gonna come even before they introduce the Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3. I mean, Ant-Man 3 is due for like 2023 or something. And I think this was one of another reason was the episodes were, I think, were
Too
not
long.
much engaging. I mean, they feel like slow paced episodes. Some were just extension of something which was not even required. I'm not being specific here, I know, but I can't recall every scene or something. If we did had had this podcast like 2-3 days after Loki, I would have been specific at that time. But I really think again there was a confusion among people were hoping to see more of Tom Hiddleston, but there was also Sylvie. And I personally think, I mean, no hateful thing for her, but I don't think Sylvie came up as a pretty strong, character as overall. Like Marvel has this image of having strong characters, which really make their presence
Great impact. Like I
established
think
on. Yeah,
the
they
same way,
establish their presence on the
the
screens.
same way, the Black Widow sister, what's her name,
Exactly, Yelena.
made in Yelena, made in
Yeah,
Hawkeye, right? He made a
yeah.
really
He made
strong
an
and great
she
impact.
made an impact in that movie, Black Widow movie, and she made that impact in the Hawkeye.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
impact, the kind of
I agree with the Yelena thing, but the Loki thing, I slightly disagree with you because I also don't think Loki is the strongest of the TV shows. Okay, yeah, no doubt,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of the weakest. Okay, it sits right at the bottom with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's right on the bottom. Like, they are on both on the fourth spot.
yeah.
Okay, but Loki, the show was definitely beautiful in one thing. Okay, it is showing Loki for who he is.
Hmm.
Loki is such a narcissist that he is falling in love with himself, a variant of himself. I cannot I cannot fathom Marvel going so deep into this philosophical shit. Like they have established Loki to be such a big narcissist that he is falling in love with himself. That is the biggest thing I take away from the show because I think Marvel is trying to give Loki a closure here. Not in this season for sure. It's just going to have another season or like
Yeah,
two more
it
Yeah,
seasons
will
at
be.
least. Okay.
he's going.
He's going to have at least two more seasons. Season two is confirmed, but he's going to have one more season after that for sure. And I think Ant-Man's the third movie of Ant-Man is coming out next year. 2020 is next year. That will have a crossover with Loki because Kang is going to be in both of them. So I
So
think they might have a crossover there. And another thing, Loki is a good show because it is about Loki and no one else. A classic Loki thing. There is no one else in the show except for Loki. They have demolished the concept of time stones. Sorry, the all of the Infinity Stones because they don't matter. They are fucking stones in the show. They don't
Hmm.
matter.
paperweight.
They are going. Yeah, nothing else matters in the show except for Loki, and that is a classic Loki thing to be shown by Marvel. They I think that is the beauty of the show.
So
Nothing else.
so
Yeah,
That's the beauty.
that's just a thing. I mean, that's one of the another reason which I didn't like enjoyed Loki that much because it feels out of the MCU. I don't think it doesn't feel like MCU. In fact, it questions everything whatever happened in the MCU so far.
yeah, I think
So that is one of the other reasons. Yeah.
Hmm. You can say that, yeah.
yeah, but like I think that's again the whole concept, like that Loki branch into
Yeah.
another timeline, right? No, he was a variant, right? So that was the whole thing. But I think in my reasons aren't too big that I didn't like Loki. Like uh, I did pretty loved it, right? In terms of the whole concept and the thing that introduced it, the thing they introduced, I loved it. The major Easter eggs, whether that be the Thanos helicopter or uh, a frog
Throg. It's called Throg.
Throg, right? So I love those things, no, but the my major setback for the show Loki was will be major in terms of fight scenes, right? They weren't that pretty unique and great, right? To my extent, like the what I expect from Marvel, it wasn't that up to the mark, and I think the pacing of the show was not as you know great or fast as I would want it to be. It felt pretty slow in some area, and I think in pretty much some places, the story goes at a different tangent sometimes, and then they bring it back to their main location, whether that being the Loki and Sylvie going, they got stuck at an
Yeah,
island. So and
man.
that thing about Loki being a deceiving person, right? That he deceives everyone. right? So at even at till the end, like you expect him to be that guy, and Marvel changes that in this movie, which is great, right? Because it's a character development of a character of a main hero, right? Or villain, right? So which was great about it, and the emotional journey which the Loki goes through in this show was quite great, because he hasn't been gone through all that, because he is a 2012 variant, right? Of 2012. He hasn't gone through all that shit, in Thor Ragnarok and all that, right? So he doesn't experience the loss of his mother and his father, right? So which makes him a great person. But I think they did a great job in summing that up with with when they showed him that what his future would have been, which was a great thing. Other than that, I think it was a great show, but it wasn't as exceptional as I expected it to be. That's my
Yes,
critique. Yeah.
that's
So
pretty much
coming
honest.
to a show which was pretty grounded in its terms in 2021, but still great, was Hawkeye. So let's talk about
Oh
Completely
it.
yeah,
agree.
no doubt, fantastic.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's.
Hawkeye was great.
I mean,
The show first of all touches upon the topic that Hawkeye is the most underrated.
yeah,
He is even he's even being outshadowed by Ant-Man, who was not even in that battle in 2012 in
Yeah.
yeah,
that show.
Yeah.
So that is one of the ironical things that is there, and we also get to know that Hawkeye is wearing this ear explosion, like, ear device
yeah,
because he cannot hear things because of the
yeah.
subtle
Explosion.
things. Very good show. I don't get the fuss over what's the name of that actress?
Yellen.
Kate Bishop.
No.
Okay,
The
Haley,
lead,
Kate.
Kate
Haley
Bishop. Yeah, Kate
Steinfeld.
Bishop.
Kate
Haley
Bishop.
Steinfeld. Yeah, I
Haley
don't
Steinfeld.
get the fuss over her. Like I know both of you are big fanboys of her
No,
also.
no,
I don't get the fuss.
not that much, I guess. Yeah.
There's
She's
no
good. She's
fan. We
good.
just loved her in the show, man.
Yeah.
Well,
So
okay, I know people are going to see this, so
I
yeah, okay, I'm gonna take my words back. But yeah, decent acting by her. Jeremy Renner was fantastic. Yelena was fantastic. The show was very good, and it is beautiful in terms that Hawkeye does not have any superpower, and that's why even despite of that, he's standing shoulder to shoulder with all the Avengers. It's
Hmm.
very good in terms of that. It
And
addresses that thing very well.
in, on the same
Kingpin
note,
also, yeah, Kingpin. Sorry.
on the same note, I think he, without having any special superpower, he still, became a role model to someone,
Yeah.
in that way. I think that explained pretty much. And also, what I love about the show is the character Maya, because I had no idea who the character Maya
Echo.
is.
Hmm.
Echo, yeah. So I had no until unless it was, people were guessing that Echo is gonna appear in this Hawkeye series. I was like, who's Echo? Who's this character? I had no idea about who's the character. But I think that's again what I'm talking about. Maya made her presence on the screen. When you see her in the scene, you feel what she's trying to convey or something. What the acting and all that, how the character is written. That's what I'm talking about in comparison to what there was missing in Sylvie. But not going to remorse Loki anymore. I just think
Yeah.
Hawkeye was touched. You two already touched upon the two great things about the show. Even though what big things are happening in MCU right now, they still, they still were able to present a low key show where there's no reality, there's no time variance, there's no any shit of that kind, there's no multiverse, just a normal criminal crime scene show.
A
So I
low key
think
show which you thought is was better than low key. Okay. So
Yeah.
exactly.
so you coming back to the earpiece thing, like I think it showed, that how of a human Hawkeye was, and a normal human being, right? Bec- uh,
Yeah.
to go through all that stuff, and the thing about a role model, right? So I can consider, I think, either Iron Man my role model, or Hawkeye my role model, because or Black Widow, because they were just human beings with which extracts exceptional skills sets, right?
Hmm.
So which you as an individual can also acquire, with
Hmm.
extra time and time, skills, or practice and patience, right? So that was what great about Hawkeye, and that's what the whole theme of the show that moves around until the end, right? Where he
Have a little bit agreement on that, but I kind of know the reason behind it, because when we see any other shows, we are seeing them in the shows, but when we are watching a Marvel show, we are in our head. We are not doing it deliberately. We just kind of go into comparison with the movies, because the movies are massive successful and they are amazing. We all know that, but when they, I mean, just the thing I'm gonna give example here. There have been rumors that Doctor Strange was about to make
cameo
a
in
appearance
WandaVision,
in the
yeah.
WandaVision, but they cancelled it out because they didn't wanted a image as big as Doctor Strange to appear in the TV show. I think that's the thing which they are doing wrong. They should
I think
create a
the
TV
scene
show
in
with the
the
same
the scene in the
enthusiasm.
teaser, that we see that Doctor Strange is coming to meet Wanda, and she says, "You are here to talk to me about Westview," and he says,
Hmm.
"No, I have something bigger." I think
Yeah,
that was the only appearance that could have been there, and they could have put it at the end of like
As an after
WandaVision's
credit.
yeah, yeah,
post-credit scene, but
yeah.
they deleted it because of Far From Home. I don't think they deleted it because of the reason that you're saying, because up until that point, up until WandaVision, only Loki was released and
No,
Falcon
Loki
and the
wasn't
Winter
Loki was
Soldier was
not
released.
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 No,
Loki.
Loki wasn't
WandaVision
not
came in
released.
January.
Wanda One was the first
Yeah,
show.
first show.
So in that show, until then, we had no concept of multiverse.
Yeah. So,
I think that's why they deleted that show,
yeah,
No,
that
scene.
scene, because yeah, because before that there was no concept of multiverse. There was no touching upon of the multiverse. The
I
first time
think
that we get to see multiverse is in Loki, and then we get to see the What If
I
episodes,
think there
and then
was
but
Far From Home comes.
I think there was like
Where
if you see the end credit of WandaVision when he hears her children's, right?
hmm,
that's what I'm saying. Na? Until WandaVision, there was nothing touched. There was no explanation of the
Yeah, yeah. Until
multiverse thing until
Yeah,
WandaVision.
yeah.
So if they
but
would
they
have
were
put,
not trying to show Doctor Strange in a multiverse show. They were just trying to say that he can sense some magic. A big magic is happening in somewhere in the near
Westview.
area. So what the thing I
that would
said,
have
like
not
they
have been
cut
very
it out.
useful.
What I'm saying that they cut it out scene. I'm not making that up. I actually read it somewhere. Something
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah,
read it
that's what I'm
somewhere very
saying.
officially.
They cut it out. They cut it out
Yeah,
because of the COVID pandemic and the dates were pushed. If
yeah,
the dates had not been pushed, I think Loki and all of them would have released simultaneously, and the multiverse thing would have been touched, and they could have kept the post credit.
Yeah.
That is
yeah,
why in they put the post credit scene of that WandaVision, the Doctor Strange and WandaVision talking about multiverse in Far From Home's ending, like we saw. Otherwise, Marvel has never done that, putting a teaser of another movie at the end of the movie that they're releasing right now.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
That is a very new thing. That could have been done in WandaVision's post credits, which was cut
yeah.
because there was no concept of multiverse being explained to the fans till then. I think that's why they cut that scene, not because of the movie and TV show. They're trying to keep them separate.
But
Because if we have seen in every show, every single show has clips from the original Avengers or some other movie.
hmm,
Whether it be Loki having clips from Ragnarok and the second Dark World movie, or whether it be
hmm,
WandaVision having clips from the first Age of Ultron or
hmm.
Endgame. They had clips of the movie in every show. I think that's not why they deleted it. They deleted it because we were not explained the concept of multiverse to them. Coming over talking about those, that what is left now, which Marvel show is left now? Falcon and the Winter
So
Soldier.
I think yeah.
Falcon the Winter Soldier. Uh,
It's just good show. There's nothing
yeah,
to
it's
talk
just good.
about.
There's
They
nothing
I
to
have
talk about. I
they
mean,
have done well in that show. They have tried to like, touch their race thing in the problems of the US in that show, and that's okay. We have no problem with that because we have not experienced them firsthand. Like the show, okay, we are Indian audience. We don't know about
I
any of
think
those
yeah.
things firsthand. Good show.
I was pretty okay with the show
Yeah,
in
hmm,
terms of story wise, in terms of things that they picked up, and in terms of expanding the Marvel universe, right? They did a pretty good job, I think.
yeah,
yeah.
man.
In a grounded
set it up.
expenditure, right? Whether
Hmm.
and the the mental health issue with Winter Soldier was depicted quite pretty well, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean
One of the
that
issues that they
show for
tackled,
me.
the issue that they tackled pretty well was, if that show would not have happened, if the last episode of the show would not have happened the way it did, Captain America, Sam taking over as Captain America would always have been called as Black Captain America.
yeah,
But because they tackled the issue so well, that he will now be just called as Captain America.
Captain America, yeah.
And that is that handling that issue in a TV show about comics made for children is just phenomenal. You can that takes exceptional writing and great intentions to do. No one can just blurt that shit out if you don't have pure intentions at heart. Marvel is doing everything they can, making money, making us happy, trying to tackle race issues. What more do you want from them? Brilliant.
So I
We
think
don't want any more thing more because they're already delivering so much.
so
Yeah,
I think
फिर वही बात आएगी यहाँ पे. We
let's
want them not to fix anything that's not broken. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Just
so
keep on giving us content.
so let's talk about a movie in 2021 which wasn't the expected Marvel movie which you expect it to be from a Marvel fan base, right? It was pretty different, and due to which it, received a different, what I must say,
Backfiring, a lot of backfiring.
I won't say backfiring, but a different, feedback from the audience, right? That's what I will say, or response, a different response from the audience, and which will be the Eternals, right? So
Hmm.
I went to see the movie twice, and I think, in my
I
opinion,
think that's just because you missed and the first time because of me. I'm sorry for that.
so so talking about the whole movie terms, like I think it has its drawbacks, or there are things in which the movie lacks, right? They are there, and the people are right about it. It's not like they are not, like they are just blatantly stating it out. But there are so many things that are great about this movie, and I wanna say the things which are great about the movie are the visuals, the way it's shot, and the cast, the overall cast is amazing, and the direction and the way it is directed, and some of the key points and some of the key setbacks which are or the points which are talked about in the Turner movie are totally great. Whether it's about the invention of atomic bombs,
I've not seen it. Please, please,
in
please, please don't spoil
Hiroshima,
it.
or
I've not seen it.
yeah, okay. So, and like and other great things. So I really like great about it. Or there are many things, but I think Himanshu hasn't seen it yet, so I don't want to spoil it from him. Spoil it. I don't want to spoil
But
it for him. So okay. So moving to the biggest movie that we have seen this year, or the movie that we shouted so much that our
Tarun Bhaiya is going to start
throats got sore.
screaming now.
So, and that will be
Yeah.
the Spider-Man No Way Home. So I think,
I,
so who one of you would like to start? Okay, so Tarun, go for it.
obviously me, obviously me.
Yeah.
And I think we are coming full circle with this topic because we made our first podcast on the three
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah,
movies,
Yes.
and now we are talking about Spider-Man movies coming together.
yeah.
So, uh, I shouldn't have gone first because I'm just gonna blabber now a lot. But I was not. I was expecting. I was really hoping that they put together all three movies, but I was not expecting that they will show such amount of screen time for all the Spider-Man. I was really not expecting. I was just thinking that there will be cameos just to,
A
just to
fan
make us a
service.
little bit happy, a fan service. But they made half of the movie about all the three of them. And sorry if I'm giving any spoilers. If you have not seen the movies, skip the
It's
entire
on
part.
you.
Yeah, it's on me.
Fuck
I
you.
take it.
No, no, no,
Come on,
not
you
on you.
you
He's saying, oh,
spoiled.
it's on the fans.
Okay, I mean, because you spoiled it in the first 3 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah,
Anyway,
not you.
so I
You
mean,
see, he's talking about the fans, that if you have not seen the movie, it's on you. It's been 20
yeah,
days that the movie's out.
Yeah.
yeah. If you're not seen the yet, don't see it now because you're not a fan.
It's okay, huh?
Yeah. So I think as we were talking, the Spider-Man No Way Home is just a fan service. It's like Kevin. I said it at the end of the movie as well. It's like Kevin Feige sat with the fans and listed all the things which they wanted, and they were like, okay, you will get this, you will get this, you will get this, you'll get this. So I think, and the brilliantly, I think they done this job brilliantly, because it's sometimes that you're trying to do something but you fail to do. I think we all have examples of that, but
Yeah.
they wanted to do something and they did that, and they did that brilliantly. So I just enjoyed. It was such a nostalgia, and the one of the big transformation that happened in me is I didn't used to like Andrew Garfield as a Spider-Man, not as an individual actor, as a Spider-Man. But just when I see all of three of them together, I just think Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man. That's it.
So in terms of, I will totally agree with you on this Andrew Garfield point, right?
Hmm.
Why he is one of the greatest, or one of the best Spider-Man. In terms of my experience, like, it was phenomenal watching the movie. Like, it was a childhood dream came true. It was like that,
Hmm.
like, because I've always been fan of Spider-Man. Or I don't remember the time, or the last, or the first time I saw Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man was one of the first movie that I saw, so it has a really special place in my heart. So I think the the background work that Tom Holland did, to make this movie possible, is totally exceptional. Because he called the Sony's producer. He started crying because in between they cancelled the Spider-Man 3 movie, right? They were going to be, the, I don't know what's the name of the villain, that Hunter, Craig the Hunter, K-
Craven the Hunter.
Kevin the Hunter, right? That was going
Hmm.
to be the villain in Spider-Man 3, but they changed it. And the way they, and I really loved the acting of Tom Holland. It was really exceptional, and I think
Yeah.
it has exceeded, or I think moved exceptionally from the last past two movies, right? And I think I have a lot to say, but no, right now I'm going all blank, because I can't form words that what I need to say right. I think I should let Himanshu speak, and I can speak later if I had something to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say negative about the movie. Who would not have loved this movie? Flawless.
Okay,
There is
Martin
no flaw in
Scorsese.
this movie.
okay. Now,
Andrew Garfield.
okay,
हाँ
okay.
पहले
Now
आप
I
बोलिए
think
चलो.
I think so. One thing that I really loved about this movie, even more than Spider-Man, was the villain William Dafoe as Green Goblin. Oh man, I fucking loved
Yeah.
it. From the first scene he came, when he was talking to the mask, right? And how he broke the mask, and the last reflection shot where they show the mask and and the laughing noise in background, which totally reflects that the Green Goblin isn't gone inside him. It's still there, right? So, and man, he's such a great actor, man. Okay. From Because I don't think so. I have seen much work of him, right? His laugh alone, like, it makes me, I think it was as close as Heath Ledger as Joker, I would say. See, in
Yeah,
terms of
he.
acting, in terms of just acting, I don't
Yeah.
wanna disrespect Heath Ledger or their fan base in any way, shape, or form. He was the main villain of the movie, right? I think the
Hmm.
whole other cast were just, supportive villains, I would say. But like, William Defoe was the main, because he was personal. He has something personal, or a personal grudge with Spider-Man, right?
The thing about why William Dafoe is obviously a great actor, and the reason why Green Goblin was kind of a main villain and the rest of them not is because Goblin is pure evil. He is pure evil. Doctor Strange met sorry, Doctor Octopus met an accident. Electro met an accident. They were still a human being somewhere. But Goblin, as a persona, is pure evil. So he just want to do bad. He thinks his powers are, he's blessed with all these powers and he can do whatever he wants. That's what he mentions in the movie. So that's what makes him a main villain, is because he's just pure evil. just evil motives. That's all. There's no any good thing in him.
So,
That's all.
what's your point on the thing that where they they try to cure all of them, that there is a
So
cure, and yeah, that
It's
that
just a plot point.
yeah.
It's just a plot point. It's nothing else. They just wanted to stretch
hmm,
the movie. That was, I think, that was one of the things that I think if we get it, it's an emotional thing. He's learning it from Aunt May that we will only cure the villains now on, and it
hmm.
will not be. But that's not feasible, right? Because it's not the end of the. It's not a trilogy. Tom Holland will also be returning. He will be facing villains. He cannot just every time go on and make a serum and then heal the villain. That's not gonna happen. You can't do that for everyone. You have to kill your villains sometimes or put them
But
in jail or something like
see,
that.
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the movie was that they were not his villains. His villain was maybe okay. Vulture was his villain because Vulture was trying to do
Yeah.
things that
Mysterio.
Mysterio was obviously villain because he blamed it himself that he gave that technology to someone who was not good
Mm.
with it. Anything, but that's the whole point of the movie that Peter Parker of Tom Holland, Peter Parker think that these villains are not his villains. He even says that they are from your universe. You deal with them. I don't care about them anymore. I just want to send them back. That's the whole point of the movie. Just because the good side of Peter Parker is like in the Marvel's universe, Peter Parker is a kid with a golden heart. He just want to do good. That's all his motive is. So he just want to
How is
like
that the point of the movie? Then if he's saying that you go back to your universe, that he said that in grief. That's not what he
hmm,
was trying to say. See, first, like you're getting confused here. There was no whole point of the movie. The whole point of the movie was to do a fan service, which they did very well. I loved the movie, but I don't think
yeah.
there was a point of the movie in healing the villains.
I mean, I
That
was
was
talking about the
just
point
that
of
is
the
a
story.
character development. Aunt May has taught him, like Uncle, both of the Uncle Bens had taught their Peter Parkers to be responsible and everything. Aunt May had taught this Peter Parker to be responsible and heal people, try to
Hmm,
heal people, in which she lost her life. Even when she was losing her life, she did not flutter from the point. She wanted to heal them. She was not sad that a goblin had killed her and she was hurt because of her intention to cure them. That was not that was not the thing there. I
Yeah.
think there was the point of the movie was nothing like that. It was, and obviously now
I
the
mean,
Amazing
see,
Spider-Man 3 is also going to be made in which Andrew Garfield is coming back and he's going to fight Sinister Six, including Venom and the old villains, like some of them. So that is going to happen now. So
that is not. It's
you
not
cannot
confirmed yet. It's
always,
just a rumor.
no, it's confirmed.
No, it's
Times
not.
have Times has published an article last week. Times, New York.
But there is no way that even they can confirm it
No,
so
no, no.
far
It's
It's not
confirmed.
confirmed.
ahead.
It's not
They've
confirmed.
It's not confirmed. It's not
Times
confirmed.
has
It's just
published an article.
an
Times, New
article.
York.
Articles are not based on facts,
Yeah, yeah. They
you
say
do know
They
that
have
articles are not
started
always the facts.
casting. The script work has begun. Sony has dealt, like they have done a deal
and who
with.
say
I don't know about the deal. Marvel has agreed to it, not or not. Sony has started hiring writers for it. Andrew Garfield has not confirmed yet, but they have obviously he's going to come back.
Let's not talk about Andrew Garfield confirming
confirming
things.
anything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's another story here, but
I don't
it's
trust that.
confirmed. It's coming. Venom is the going to be the main villain, but it's going to be a
I,
funny kind of a villain. Obviously, Sinister Six is coming back, so it's confirmed.
I think in terms of I think in terms of the plot of the movie, I think it was great. I won't say it was too good or too different, right?
Yeah,
So
no,
we expected it, and I think it wasn't anything that we didn't expect it from the movie, right? But
I
I
mean,
think
it's very
they
rare. It's very rare when we see a great plot in some superhero movies.
yeah.
The plot,
So
the baseline of the stories remains pretty basic.
same,
It's
but
just about the how the
in
movie has.
the
Yeah,
inclusion of Doctor Strange and multiverse was a really great or significant plus point for the Spider-Man movie or Spider-Man plot, that I would say. And I think you can't give time. A person who loves his grandma so much didn't have the time to grieve or you know, cry, or should I say, he did, he was there at the spot. But at the second movement, we saw him, going with Spider-Man, all the three Spider-Man, and fighting the villains and joking around. So
Yeah,
which doesn't feel practical to me, that
it doesn't sit with you. Yeah,
your aunt died just, it's not even been 24 hours, and I know deep down there was anger, in him, which was the main reason he tried to kill William Dafoe, right? I'm not stating that's not was that wasn't the case. That was the case, right? He was too angry within. I think that I felt like it. But I think at least they should have given a bit time, not not to make it a bit slow, but they should have given it a bit time to, to process his grief. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think,
I mean, in the in this when you're creating a movie thing, you have to ignore all these points sometime,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
then
I
that
totally,
movie wouldn't be happening,
yeah,
because this entire movie is based on a comics which called Spider-Man and a Day, which is a story about a one day. So this movie is practically a movie. Maybe it's around 24 hours. It's a movie about
yeah, I
24 hours
totally
or maybe
agree with
30
that. Yeah,
hours at max. So yeah, so they if they had included in that much thing, I mean, if you remember, they are cut scenes. They are the scenes which were cutted from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. There was like a 30 minutes to 25-minute scenes where Andrew Garfield was just grieving over Gwen Stacy, but they just made it short to a like a 10-second or a minute video where just they have having a ceremony for her. That's all they shown, because that's what the when you are trying to make a movie, you can't include everything at that point.
yeah,
You
yeah, I
can't
get
show
it. Yeah.
everything at that point, woman. So yeah, overall, I mean, there could be, I mean, there are people who think the end game was not as good movie as any
There
like
will always
Infinity
be
War.
hater for a movie, obviously.
They will be
You
over here.
can't.
If you criticize something, if you look deeply into something, you will always find some sort of mistake. You will always have the
So
tendency to
so
criticize
so
something.
I think we can get on same point, or that we all
yeah.
three
We
of
can
us.
agree that you don't die a hero, you live long enough to become a villain.
No, I would say that.
Damn man, you have to make a DC reference at some point. You have to
So,
make a DC
so
reference at point.
I think we can all agree that we all three of us loved Spider-Man and we totally enjoyed it,
Yeah, man.
which was the whole purpose of a movie. And if you enjoyed it, then you don't have to go to cinephile on a movie what's wrong and what's right in it. You can just share the
Exactly.
points of what you loved about it and what you
Yeah.
didn't, and it's okay. So let's talk about a movie which we didn't like in 2021, which you saw and thought it was a total waste of your time. Let's talk about a movie which we, didn't like or wasn't worth seeing in 2021. Let's go for it.
So I'll go first, Imanshu. There were two movie. There were three movies, but Venom 2 I'll not even talk about it anymore. So there were two movies which were big disappointment. One was Black Widow, and another was I mean, nobody actually cares about it anymore, but because I've been seeing it from so long, so I do. It's the James Bond movies. So that was total waste of
Yeah,
time. I think they were
piece of
just
crap.
trying to. It was it was waste of time. It was literally waste of time. There was no need to. They just did this movie to end the storyline of Daniel Craig. That's all. That's all. That's the whole. That's the only thing they wanted to show, and they just built a whole movie around it. There was no point in movie. I didn't even like the story. The action scenes were, a lot paused. There was no continuous fighting. Even they had a actor like Rami Malek. He had a like screen time of 30 minutes, and he did a great role portraying a villain. But I think that movie was total waste. Black Widow. I mean, Black Widow, I don't even have reasons exactly why I hated Black Widow, because when I see Black Widow in other movies, I really love the character of Black Widow. But in in her own movie, she didn't did justice to it,
I
and they
think
completely ruined one of the
I
greatest Marvel character, which is like the Taskmaster. Taskmaster is amazing when you see him in animation series or comics or something. He's a great, kind of a great villain. He's subtle, but he's great. But they ruined it. I mean, I don't know why Marvel is living with that impression of making a completely girl-dominated movies. You can let that thing off. I mean, you can really drop it off now. It's this 2017 2016 topic. that you have to make a female dominated movie. Just be movies, be movies.
I think you can
That's all.
make them, but make it right, I guess. That I would say.
Yeah,
I
I
I,
mean,
I mean,
movies are the
they are.
mirror of society, so you
I
have to
think
make them at
I
some
think
point
I
because
think
that's
I
what we want it to be. The society to be equal and shit like that. But like, do it right. Like have a right
I
script
don't
for it.
know if you guys have
They are now
seen the
talking about
movie.
the James Bond, talking about the James Bond thing that you're saying. Now they are going to recast James Bond as a female black
Yeah,
James Bond. Don't make her 007. Give her any other code.
yeah.
Keep James Bond 007. No problem with that. Obviously, we want a spy movie with the female cast. MIB
Hmm.
International was a good movie with like the Chris Hemsworth and
I
what's her
mean,
name?
we love female.
Yeah,
We love female
yeah.
lead characters. Yeah, like, I love the Resident Evil
Just do it
series.
right.
It's yeah. Resident Evil is the movie which I completely see as a movie like with where a girl is leading an entire movie, or like 6 or 7 movie
I
which they
don't know
made.
if you guys have seen
Yeah,
The Atomic Blonde movie.
it's good.
Yeah,
I
it's a
have
Yeah,
seen,
Kate
I've
really
seen it.
Blanchett. Now, yeah, it's
it's
good
a
movie.
Yeah,
really great
not
movie.
Kate Blanchett. No,
Kate
it's not
Blanchett is
Kate
there.
Blanchett. It's that girl from the Mad Max movie. What's her name? Uh,
Yeah, I think a Mad Max would also be considered as a
Charlize
female
Theron.
lead movie, right?
Charlize Theron. Yeah.
Charlize Theron.
So I loved that movie, even though the lead was a female. So it doesn't change the fact, right? It's only the only thing that
Yeah.
matters is if you do it right, right?
Hmm.
So in terms of superhero movies, like even the Bray Larson movie, what was the name of the movie?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Shit ass. Ah.
I hate it so much. I love the cat. I love the Marvel, Captain Marvel in What If series.
Yeah.
Although it was
Just
voiced
fuck.
by,
Why is Hollywood so obsessed with Brie Larson? She doesn't do anything right. She. I think she even has an Oscar
Yeah,
nomination
she
for shit like.
yeah, she has an Oscar.
nomination.
She has an Oscar. I
She
think
Yeah,
has
she
a
has
she
an
has
Oscar,
an
2016
Oscar.
Oscar
yeah.
for a
Yeah,
movie called The Room or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I
I,
couldn't believe it when
Maybe
I
she is a
saw
good
that.
yeah,
actress, and yeah. So I think
Maybe she is a good actress, but she is a very bad Captain Marvel. That's all.
yeah, I think that's yeah.
don't know. Talking about the movie that I did not like, I think I'll talk about one movie that I did not like, which I thought I would like, and one I liked, but I thought I didn't like. I won't like. The first one, which I thought I would love, but I did not, was Matrix 4.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Matrix Resurrections, as they called. Oh my god, why are you doing it? Don't. If a cash cow is dead, don't try to resurrect a cow to draw milk from it. Don't. If it's dead, let it be dead. Okay,
You
there's
will get
nothing to
that
talk about the
reference.
movie.
People will only get that reference who have a marketing degree.
Yeah, well, that's also there.
No.
Like,
Everybody
ठीक है
know.
ना,
Everybody
अपन
know. Milking.
कैश काउ
Everybody know.
सबको पता ही होता है
Yeah,
खैर.
Hmm.
yeah, cool.
मैट्रिक्स बहुत अच्छी थी. मैट्रिक्स 1 बहुत अच्छी थी, 2 बहुत ही अच्छी थी, 3 नहीं थी अच्छी, 4 उससे भी खराब. बस खत्म करो.
Yeah.
Keanu is loved. Let Keanu be loved.
Yeah.
Please. It's a piece of crap. The movie is a fucking piece of crap. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing, so I won't. I'll talk about the movie which I thought I would hate, but I loved. Vijay Bhaiya, we went to see it together. The Suicide Squad. Fun movie.
Yeah, really fun
I
movie.
thought I
Really
would
great movie. Yeah,
I
man.
thought I would hate it because DC was fucking everything. They were just destroying everything that they were there laying their eyes on, but they have done well with The
Thanks to
Suicide Squad.
James
It's a
Gunn.
fun movie. Yeah, well, James Gunn, like, why wouldn't he make a good movie? Guardians of the Galaxy was fun. He has carried the same positive energy into this movie and he's made it great. Okay, so think about it. You have fucked it up once. Suicide Squad, the characters are mostly the same. You have destroyed him. You recruit a guy to make a remake of the movie, which is not a remake of the movie. So you are already treading on wrong kinds of ground that you are going to lose everything on it. But James Gunn comes in, he makes a good movie, he recasts most of them, some of them, and he recasts most of them, and he makes a hell of a movie. Great job.
You know,
So yeah,
if I talked about an analogy, in this, he was playing with a deck of card, which there was no chance he could win. But he
yeah, well,
still aced
that's
it. But he still aced it.
he is it.
So
Yeah.
which was really great, I think.
He finally made some peace in DC.
So I think which was
Yeah.
really great about, mm,
Yeah.
and the movie was fun, and during the whole length of the movie, they every time, whole movie you have a big smile on your face, which is
Yeah.
like the great things about James Gunn movie, right? It makes you emotional,
Exactly.
it makes you emotional and heartfelt at some point, and at most, there's a very big smile, like whether it's be, the shark, the King Shark
Yeah.
scenes, or the John Cena's, uh, scenes,
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker scenes. Like it were all pretty amazing and great. I think that
Yeah.
was really great.
Talking about big smile on on your face, how can you not talk about Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
And the only thing he did this year was Free Guy. He
Yeah.
was an actor in Free Guy, but like fantastic movie.
So
Have you seen Free Guy?
yeah,
Free
yeah,
Guy?
I have
Any
seen,
of
I
I
you?
have
have
seen.
not.
So let's talk
It's a
about.
very good movie.
So yeah, yeah. So
I have
I was
not
coming
seen
back to
both the
that.
movies.
I was coming back to that
I
Yeah.
just
from my,
Yeah. Go on.
last question, because it's already too late and we all have work tomorrow. So my last question will be a movie in 2021 which wasn't superhero related, but you guys loved it. And I think we already have an answer from Himanshu. Go for. I think it's
No, I'll talk about Don't Look Up.
okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep. एक
I
क्या चाहिए और तुमको?
Yeah, मैंने नहीं देखी अभी
क्या
तक.
चाहिए?
I
देखो यार.
I'm really looking forward to see it. Yeah, but I'm not getting the
The
time to watch it
satire.
right
It's a
now.
dark comedic satire on the
yeah.
condition of the world right now. Fantastic movie. It's on
I mean,
Netflix now.
Yeah.
It was released on 16th of December, and 8 days later, it was on Netflix. Very good movie. Leonardo DiCaprio gets to do what he does on Instagram every day. He gets to talk about our behavior towards climate change, in which he talks about our behavior towards asteroid impact on Earth. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I
Not
think that's the
not just a good
reason
movie,
he
it's a
did that
fantastic movie.
movie.
Yeah, well,
He,
that's also he's one of the executive producers of the movie, so
yeah,
obviously he was
obviously.
behind the scenes also. So it's a
Mm.
good movie. Meryl Streep is fantastic. Jennifer Lawrence does justice to the character. There's also Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
I mean, you are fanboys as you've told. So
I
it's
have
a
seen the
good
Don't Look
movie.
Up. I watched.
Chalamet does a very good job. He has a very specific role in the second half. He is playing. Okay, I'm going to spoil it for you. Chalamet is playing love interest of Jennifer
Jennifer
Lawrence
Lawrence.
for
Yeah.
second half of the movie.
Mm.
Like, ठीक है, it's interesting chemistry. Good movie. Jonah Hill is extremely funny. Extremely funny. So you should just go ahead and watch it.
So Tarun, what
Yeah,
was
Vijay, you should. I have seen the movie. I saw
okay?
on 31st. So I love the movie too. I mean, obviously, I mean, this year has been a year of great castings. I guess there have been some
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
which had a great
French
actors in
Dispatch
them also.
also. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this year has been a great casting. This year goes to the casting directors.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't have pretty something very specific to say about Don't Look Up, but I think yeah, the only thing I will say that I enjoyed that movie is obviously a must watch. So yeah, you will enjoy it too, Vijay. I think we know each other very well, so we know what you are
Hmm.
gonna hate or what you're gonna love. So yeah, you'll definitely like that movie.
Yeah.
And dark comedies are obviously very difficult to make. I mean,
Very
I've
difficult to
seen
pull up. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen some dark. One of the other, okay, I will talk about it in some other podcast. Dark comedies. I've been following dark comedies for some time now, and I think the fun of them being dark and the comedic at the same time is really enjoyable. Yeah, that's it.
So what's the movie that, a non-superhero movie that you loved?
The non-superhero movie that I love this year, I didn't saw much movies this year, but obviously we already mentioned Dune. I think
Yeah.
that's the only movie that I can talk about right now for this topic. Dune was the movie which I loved, which was a non-superhero movie, and I also enjoyed Fast and Furious. And people can hate it, but okay, I enjoyed it. It was not a disappointment for me.
Or the movie, or if I talk about a TV show that I loved, was Squid Game. Like it was really popular. right? Because it was a mainstream TV show, due to which some people may hate it, but like it was really good and a really unique Korean show that I love. Seeing a show such great makes you wanna watch more Korean TV shows, and because their takes on cinema is quite unique as compared to what we see in West
Yeah.
or in India. Yeah.
But why
Did you
can't people
see
accept that
Train
in
to
Busan?
Busan?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard really
Yeah,
great things.
I remember recommending it. You
Yeah.
should see Parasite and Train to Busan.
I have seen Parasite,
Both
but I
great.
haven't seen Train to Busan yet.
Train to Busan was a 2021 year movie.
No, 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 no,
No, no,
no,
no,
no.
no.
It's really
I'm
old.
talking about Korean movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think it was a superhero movie, but I saw it. It's Mindal Murli. I think you guys should totally check it out. Well, it's a really great Indian origin superhero movie. Like it's very like the VFX are just 0.1% of Endgame or any other Marvel movie. 0.1%. VFX are very minimal, but the movie is grounded. Why? And the storyline is why the movie is great because of the storyline. That's what I felt like. So I think that was it. So I think that was it for the 2021 Remind movies. There were a lot more movies that we saw, and I know the most of the movie that we talked about was super related. But I think that's the jam we go through in our podcast, and we're gonna stick to that. So it's not like we are some great cinephile which talked about high or deep movies. We don't want to, we are not that kind of channel. For that you can go through different channels. There are hundreds and thousands of them. We mostly here talk about superhero shit, and if you like that too, you can listen to us talk about superhero shit, and you can even join us if you want to hit us on Instagram, and you can DM us, and if you want to be part of the gang. So that's our podcast for the 2021 movies which we loved, and we will be coming back soon for the 2022. So, peace out. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Thank you. You can do that.